Hey, I want to talk to you about a paper that came out a few weeks ago in the Journal of Structural Biology on the evolution of mollusk shells. In particular, they're looking at the evolution of the protein domains found in mollusk shells across a wide range of mollusk species. So I want to say a few words about protein domains. What are they? And then get into this paper and what they say about the evolution of these protein domains. So proteins are made of protein domains. They are the major building blocks of proteins. A protein may have one or two or three or four or five, so on, domains, and they are independently folding. We talked about the folding problem last time a little bit, and these domains are kind of like these building blocks or parts of proteins that alone could fold up. Evolutionists think of these protein domains as building blocks also in the evolutionary history. They can be swapped around, is what evolutionists hypothesize. So it's natural that they would look at these protein domains and try and reconstruct the history of them in these in whatever they're looking at. So let's look at this paper a little bit. What I'm going to do is just read to you quotes from the paper that show how badly the evidence fits evolution, or should I say how much it contradicts evolution, and how they're forced into some pretty odd conclusions in language. So I'm going to read to you just half a dozen quotes here. The first one: some functional domains, and we're talking about protein domains here, so some functional domains may have been recruited early for shell fabrication and may be part of a core toolkit essential for biomineralization. And that's the first quote. By the way, these quotes may be lightly edited just for readability. But what's the problem there? Some functional domains may have been recruited for early shell fabrication and may be part of a core toolkit. Okay, evolution doesn't have toolkits. Carpenters have toolkits. Evolution doesn't have toolkits. So right off the bat, we're not talking about evolution here. We're making up ideas that are very design-like. It's like an active agent. Secondly, this recruited early for shell fabrication. Domains may have been recruited. Okay, evolution doesn't recruit things. Agents recruit things for shell fabrication. Whenever you see that for a verb, that's the infinitive form. It's goal. It's indicating a goal. So it's obviously for something, for shell fabrication. So it's you've got a purpose there, and evolution doesn't have purposes. So we're not even anywhere close to evolution here, even though that's supposedly what this paper is about, written by evolutionists for evolutionists about the history of evolution. Second quote here: functional domains would have been co-opted the first time for mineralization around the Cambrian explosion. So again, co-opted, you've got this kind of active agent language for mineralization purpose. Doesn't work. Next quote: these functional domains have undergone multiple convergent evolutions. Convergence is what the word evolutionists use when it doesn't fit common descent. Instead, you see designs that are sprinkled about. They occur in different species, not necessarily close to each other, not similar. And so it's not fitting common descent. Instead, they're just happening here and there. They happened independently, so had to occur independently. The whole idea behind evolution is that things are similar because of common descent, because they come from a common ancestor. But that's not what the evidence shows, over and over and over. This problem is just getting worse and worse over time. But it's been known about for some time. Convergence is massive. It's ubiquitous in biology. It's not common descent. It's not working. Next quote: one of the most unexpected outcomes suggests that numerous functional domains are of recent origin, that is, are lineage specific, which means that a part of the shell protein population is constructed from rapidly evolving genes. Okay, genes don't evolve rapidly. You can't evolve genes at all from random mutations, which is what evolution needs, but you certainly can't evolve them rapidly. Now, it is true that cells, biological cells, can do wonders with their genetic engineering. They will adapt and tweak their genome in all kinds of fascinating ways. But evolution, through random mutation, it can't do that. So you don't have rapidly evolving genes. And then lineage specific. Okay, that's another example of how biology does not fit common descent. Lineage specific means, oh, we only see it in one or a few species that are very similar. So it just happens. You have this design that just pops up. It just happens in one particular lineage. Oh, really? Well, that's not common descent. It's not evolution. Okay, next quote. The construction of microstructures that are stable and invariant over geological times is largely based on molecular tools that are themselves not conserved, a very counterintuitive concept. So here you have the appeal to a toolkit, tools, molecular tools. Evolution doesn't have tools that are themselves not conserved. So even these molecular tools are not falling into a common descent pattern. And then they even admit here it's very counterintuitive concept. It's not working. This isn't evolution. Okay, the last quote here that I have: the evolutionary view of rapidly evolving shell proteins may also reflect the presence of attractors that constrain, force, or pull the system towards the synthesis of well-defined microstructures. So again, this idea that you have attractors that are pulling the system, pulling earlier designs toward later designs, forcing designs in one direction or another. There's no foresight in evolution. Natural selection cannot induce certain changes. It cannot push or pull things in certain directions toward a design. That's what they're specifically saying here, towards the synthesis of well-defined microstructures. That's, again, design language. So these various quotes are just kind of dripping with design language. You see this over and over again in the evolutionary literature. They cannot describe the biology in terms of evolution. Evolutionary language does not work. And so it's very common to see this teleological, design, purpose-driven sort of language in the evolutionary literature, as well as all these just empirical problems where it's lineage specific and convergences and rapid evolution, rapid changes happening here and there. So it's just this paper is a good example of the types of problems that you so often see in the literature. So until next time, religion drives science, and it matters.